Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this. Two of the world's most underestimated currencies, the Vietnamese Dong and the Iraqi Dinar, have suddenly made global headlines in ways few thought possible. Once dismissed as minor players, these currencies have reportedly leaped from mere pennies to staggering dollar values, sparking a storm of speculation. In 2025, the conversation is centered around a potential global financial shift, after news broke that the United States has officially recognized the Dong, leaving many to wonder if the dinar could soon follow. Whispers of the Dong hitting $39 and the dinar rising to $4.18 have electrified online forums, fueling questions of whether this could finally be the long-awaited breakthrough currency holders have envisioned. Could we be standing at the edge of an economic reset? Today we'll dive into the facts, the rumors, and the energy sweeping financial communities across the globe. The Vietnamese Dong, once thought of as having little weight on the world stage, is suddenly at the center of international conversations. For years, ordinary people and small investors alike tucked away Dong notes, quietly holding on to the hope that one day their patience might pay off. Now, with figures like $39 being mentioned in serious circles, that quiet patience has turned into loud debates about the future. The U.S. decision to accept the Dong as a valid trade currency has been the spark behind this explosion of interest. Recognition from such an economic powerhouse doesn't just attract attention, it signals legitimacy that can ripple outward, changing how governments, markets, and traders treat a currency. For the Dong, this moment could mark a pivot point, shifting its identity from overlooked to influential on the global stage. But the story doesn't end there. As the Dong gains credibility, the Iraqi dinar is also rising in the rumor mill. Numbers like $4.18 are lighting up chat rooms, YouTube channels, and financial blogs, breathing new life into discussions that have been ongoing for over a decade. The possibility that both the Dong and the dinar could surge in tandem has created what many are calling a dual wave of opportunity. This is not just idle chatter, the type of financial buzz that encourages people to think beyond survival and start envisioning wealth. For anyone holding these currencies, the speculation isn't just about numbers, it's about the life-changing potential those numbers could represent. That is why social media platforms are overflowing with videos, predictions, and heated discussions about what could be the most talked about financial story of the year. What makes this situation stand out is the element of U.S. acceptance. The term direct acceptance is being repeated endlessly in conversations, and for good reason. When the largest economy in the world validates a currency, it sets a precedent that can't be ignored. Investors know this isn't just a temporary fluctuation, it's recognition. Its recognition often translates into stability and trust. People aren't just chasing price speculation. They are watching for the underlying signals that reveal where things are headed. In an interconnected financial system, confidence is everything, and the U.S. backing of the Dong suggests that broader acceptance could follow. For many, it feels inevitable that the dinar will be the next currency to step into the spotlight, fueling anticipation that has been years in the making. For countless holders, this news represents far more than financial gains. It symbolizes freedom. When someone hears figures like $4, $10, or even $39 attached to currencies they already possess, their mind races with possibilities. Imagine paying off every debt, erasing credit card balances, supporting your children's education, or traveling to dream destinations once thought impossible. These aren't just fantasies anymore. They're becoming tangible plans in the minds of thousands. While critics argue that the numbers are exaggerated or premature, one thing is certain. Hope, once awakened, is hard to extinguish. That is why discussion spreads so rapidly, from family gatherings to online forums, bringing together communities bound by the belief that life-changing opportunities may soon become real. So what does a currency revaluation actually involve? Simply put, it's when a country raises the official value of its money relative to others, reshaping the way imports, exports, and global trade function. A stronger currency makes imported goods cheaper domestically, but it can also make exports harder to sell abroad. For this reason, not every government rushes to strengthen its currency. Yet for nations like Vietnam and Iraq, a revaluation could be a deliberate move, one designed to attract foreign investment, boost economic credibility, and reinforce their position in the global system. The success of such a decision relies on timing, policy, and leadership. If executed correctly, the impact could be transformative, both for these nations and the individuals who have held their currencies with steadfast patience. Trade policy also plays a key role in these shifts. Tariffs are not applied equally across all nations. Some countries face heavy restrictions, while others get lighter treatment. Why? Often it's tied to currency values. When nations keep their currencies undervalued for too long, they risk being targeted during negotiations, as larger economies push for fairness. Raising a currency's value can be a strategic defense mechanism, showing readiness to compete fairly on the global stage. This move not only improves international perception, but can also secure better trade deals, encourage outside investment, and strengthen diplomatic ties. For countries like Vietnam and Iraq in 2025, the pressure to step up has never been greater and, with speculation already running high, the world is watching closely for the next move. The global financial climate today makes stability more valuable than ever. Investors, corporations, and trade partners want proof of strength before committing capital. And currency value plays a major role in that decision. Currencies seen as weak or unstable can repel investment, while one that climbs steadily in value signals strength and reliability. That is why the recent surge of the Dong and the whispers about the Dinar are creating such waves. If these currencies can prove they are more than temporary speculation, Vietnam and Iraq could reshape their reputations and secure positions as rising forces in global finance. For both nations, this moment could be the opportunity to move beyond history and establish themselves as credible financial players. So, how do nations actually push their currencies higher? It begins with solid economic reforms, building infrastructure, expanding education, encouraging foreign business partnerships, and enhancing productivity. Just as important is transparency. Global markets trust countries that openly share reliable data, policies, and long-term visions. With these elements in place, confidence builds and currencies strengthen. For Vietnam and Iraq, aligning themselves with international partners, modernizing industries, and proving consistency are critical steps. The U.S. acceptance of the Dong is seen by many as confirmation that these steps are already underway, igniting speculation that Iraq is preparing to follow suit. The emotional side of this phenomenon cannot be ignored. For years, countless individuals who invested in Dong or Dinar endured skepticism, doubt, and even ridicule. Many held these currencies quietly, waiting for a day when the odds might turn in their favor. Now, as whispers grow louder, those same individuals are allowing themselves to believe again. They're planning futures, discussing how to use potential windfalls, and creating lists of priorities. Some dream of paying off mortgages, while others imagine opening businesses or securing futures for their children. What binds them all together is a sense of hope that finally feels more real than ever before. Online communities are feeding this energy, with forums, groups, and live streams dedicated to tracking every development. Conversations are more active than they've been in years, as believers rally around the possibility of a financial breakthrough. Social media timelines are filled with countdowns, speculative charts, and testimonies of those who held on against all odds. Even those who remain cautious admit that the momentum feels different this time. The year 2025 has brought a renewed sense of urgency, and with it, a collective belief that the long wait may soon pay off. Of course, the question remains, how much of this is real and how much is speculation? While official confirmations are scarce, the fact that the U.S. has reportedly accepted the Dong has shifted the conversation from fringe rumor to global possibility. Once a currency earns recognition from a major power, the path for others becomes far more visible. The global financial system thrives on trust, and trust often begins with a single move by a leading economy. Whether the reevaluations arrive suddenly or gradually, the steps being taken by Vietnam and Iraq suggest that change is coming, and when it does, the effects could redefine wealth for millions. As we track the Dong and Dinar making headlines in 2025, it becomes clear that this is not just a financial story. It's a story of hope, patience, and possibility. It's about nations reclaiming influence, and about individuals holding on to dreams of financial freedom. From pennies to dollars, what once seemed impossible now feels within reach. While no one can pinpoint the exact day or hour, the world is watching more closely than ever before. This may very well become one of the most dramatic shifts in currency history, and the anticipation grows stronger each day.